And then I just start to hear these yells of, where is she? Where is she?
During an hour-and-a-half Instagram Live, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez detailed the moment that she thought she was going to die. So this was, of course, during the Capitol riots, and there was a lot of information during this hour and a half. I watched the entire thing. She also revealed that she's a sexual assault survivor. So I'm going to try and summarize here her clip from an hour and a half down to about 5 minutes. Obviously, there's a lot of details in this that are missing, but if you want to watch her entire story, I'll link to it below the video on YouTube in the description box. But let me play for you her discussing in detail the moment that she thought she was going to die.
I go back in and I hide back in the bathroom behind the door. And then I just start to hear these yells of, where is she? Where is she? And I just thought to myself, they got inside. And so I hide behind my door like this, like I'm here, and the bathroom door starts going like this, like the bathroom door is behind me, or rather in front of me, and I'm like this, and the door hinges right here, and I just hear, where is she? Where is she? And this was the moment where I thought everything was over. And the weird thing about moments like these is that you lose all sense of time. In retrospect, maybe it was 4 seconds, maybe it was 5 seconds, maybe it was 10 seconds, maybe it was 1 second, I don't know. It felt like my brain was able to have so many thoughts in that moment, between these screams and these yells of, where is she? Where is she? And so I go down and I thought I was going to die. And I had a lot of thoughts. You have a lot of thoughts, I think, when you're in a situation like that. And like also one of those thoughts that I had was, I just happened to, be a spiritual person and be raised in that context. And I really just felt like, if this is the plan for me, then people will be able to take it from here. I had a lot of thoughts, but that was the thought that I had about you all. I felt that if this was the journey that my life was taking, that I felt that things were going to be okay. And that, I had fulfilled my purpose. Anyways, sorry guys. So anyways, as I'm hiding in this bathroom, hearing these yells of these men, or just a man, just one man going, where is she? Where is she? I start to look through the door hinge to see if I can see anything. And there's like a door here and there's like another door here. So I'm like trying to look through two door hinges. And so I look through this door hinge and I see this white man in a black beanie just like open the door of my personal office and come inside the personal office and yell again, where is she? And I have never been quieter in my entire life. I was just, I don't even know if I held my breath, but I was just here behind there, and I just start sliding down. And then all of a sudden I hear my staffer G yell out. And he's like, hey, it's okay. Come out. So I'm like, I don't know, so deeply rattled. I'm still processing the end of my life when I come out. And I come out, and this man is a Capitol Police officer. But the story doesn't end. It's a Capitol Police officer. There was no partner, was not yelling, Capitol Police, etc., etc. But then it didn't feel right. Because he was looking at me with a tremendous amount of anger and hostility. And we couldn't even tell, we couldn't read if this was a good situation or a bad situation. It was so like so many other communities in this country, just that presence doesn't necessarily give you a clear signal if you're safe or not. And so the situation did not feel okay. And then he just looks at me and yells at me, and he just go down and then go to this other building.
All right, I'm going to pause it there, but there is a bit more I want to get to, including Katie Porter's perspective as she ends up meeting with AOC after this part of the story as well. But man, imagine being incredibly famous, and there is a mob of people outside the building where you work, banging on the door, trying to get in. I don't think people... I imagine it's tough to be able to understand what that feels like unless you've been in that situation. I mean, the closest that I've come to is when I was younger, in high school, somebody tried to break into our home while I was home. And that has stayed with me since that happened. To the point where if I'm home alone, I won't have headphones on because I want to be able to be aware of my surroundings. So, and that is just a tiny fraction of what AOC experienced here. And as she discusses during this Instagram live, the kind of trauma that this, the impact that has on you and the way it can weigh on you is, I imagine, impossible to really understand until, we're years past this. So, yeah. I think a lot of people didn't realize maybe how serious this entire and how traumatizing this entire event was for people who were in that building during the riots. I do want to share this take here from Owen Higgins, who said, "I know there are a lot of people who like to downplay what happened at the Capitol, so I just have one simple question. What do you think would have happened to the members of the squad if that mob found them?" It's that simple. Anybody downplaying this, and yes, look, if you're not on Twitter, then you're doing the right thing. Don't bother, because there are a lot of people, including people who pretend to be on the left or progressive, that are trying to downplay this, that are now trying to be all edgy and cool by attacking the squad and AOC for discussing what they went through. It's disgusting. Now, let me get to Katie Porter. So at this point of the story, AOC is told to go to another building. She goes to that building. She's told to go to the main level, which is it's at street level, which is where there are people trying to break in. So this is kind of where the story is. But Katie Porter's office is in that building, and that's where AOC finds Katie Porter. And let me just play for you here a clip of Katie Porter discussing when AOC came to her office.
Congresswoman Porter, what was that like for you? And did you know just how deep Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's fears were at that time?
Well, at first she saw me, and we waved. I went into my office, and a couple seconds later, she knocked and she said, "Could we come in?" And I said, "Of course." And she began to her staffer was trying to describe what had happened. And Alex is really usually like unfailingly polite and very personable. And she wasn't even really talking to me. She was opening up doors. And I was like, can I help you? Like, what are you looking for? And she said, I'm looking for where I'm going to hide. And the thing that will always stay with me, the two memories that really, especially as a mom, I think were just really powerful for me, was when she said, I was saying, well, don't worry, I'm a mom, I'm calm, I've got everything here we need. We could live for like a month in this office. And she said, I just hope I get to be a mom. I hope I don't die today. And the second thing is she was wearing heels. And I remember her saying to me, I was wearing flats. And I remember her saying to me, I knew I shouldn't have worn heels. How am I going to run? And we went and we found her a pair of sneakers to wear from one of my staffers, so that she could run if she needed to literally run for her life.
How long did the fear of losing life hold in that room while you were waiting?
About 6 hours. There was no communication about what to do. No one came to check on us. The Capitol Police never accounted for every member's safety. And so we heard voices in the hallway. We didn't know what they were, whether those were police officers, whether those were intruders. And so we stayed dark. We clicked the windows, the curtains. We turned our phones off. We silenced everything. And we just sat, as still and as quiet as we could be in the hope that they would just run on by.
So, as you see there, AOC eventually made it to Katie Porter's office, randomly saw her in the hallway after getting a coffee, asked if she can hide in her office, and as AOC discusses in the video, she was at a 10. Katie Porter was like at a 1, didn't realize that how serious it was at the time. And they hid in there for, I guess, about 6 hours, with no real communication from Capitol Police or any other law enforcement telling them what they should be doing. No real plan ahead of time in terms of what to do. They were completely caught off guard. And this is what happened in this Capitol riot is a perfect example of white privilege, in the sense that if this was Black Lives Matter, if these were Native American protesters, the approach clearly would have been much different. And we've seen it in the past when you've had protests or demonstrations from Black Lives Matter or other leftist groups. The police presence is insane. And of course, violence never comes from those individuals at those demonstrations. But here you have right-wingers, 99% white people, a giant riot, and completely unprepared for what went on. So it is just I don't know. It's stunning how close they came to getting injured or killed, and it is incredible that more people weren't injured or killed, especially lawmakers, during this riot.